Hello and welcome to another StarCraft 2 replay analysis brought to you by Rev Good Luck. This match is going to be a Terran versus Zerg on the map Antigua Shipyards. This is our purple Terran player, ESC GoOdy, and our teal Zerg player, LDLC BenSen. So, this is Antigua Shipyard, a very, very large map. I really like this map. It's a good large map, has a really fast third base for Zerg players and reasonably accessible for Protoss and Terran as well. And the gold base is a really key part of this map. The Zerg players, this Zerg player specifically, will probably be taking this gold base very quickly. So we see our teal player, BenSen, taking early gas geyser for an extractor trick. I really like the canceled mineral system because I had actually never realized that you get 19 minerals back when you cancel an extractor. That's ridiculous. But I really like that change by Blizzard. I think that's just something that really helps the casters or people watching and spectating the game. I think it really helps them. I don't agree that if the Terran player had an SCV, I don't think he should have been able to see that that was canceled. I think that should be something that's left to intuition of the players playing. But nonetheless, this is a Terran versus Zerg, once again. And it looks like it's opening pretty standard. Terran went barracks into refinery, which probably means factory. It could possibly be like a tech lab with a scouting reaper. But there's definitely a Marine first, and he's going to not get off a wall in before the drone gets there. So the drone is going to get to see this orbital command and steal the gas geyser. That's really annoying for Zerg, and if you think about it, it doesn't really accomplish all that much. The one thing that this gas geyser really does is prevents cloaked banshees. It gives you the opportunity to possibly scout later, but probably not. So the Zerg has gone for hatchery first, into spawning pool, and then gas geyser. So pretty late spawning pool, and definitely really late Zergling speed. So if the Terran goes for a factory right here, which he does, reactor Hellions or blue flame Hellions would both be really good. I think reactor Hellions would be slightly better in this situation, just because this Zergling speed is going to be so late. The Terran could easily have out 4 Hellions, I think, before this Zergling speed would finish, which means the Zerg is definitely going to need an evolution chamber and a spine crawler and 1 or 2 queens down here to defend drones, just because of Hellions. But you never know. It could be anything. That's rare. In Terran vs. Zerg, an SCV holding the watchtower. But this Zergling does not approve and is going to take him out. Unless he can get away. Will he get away? He got away. That is a lucky SCV. Coming home. Now this Marine, I really like this Marine's positioning. He's standing here so that an Overlord cannot come in and scout this factory, which is creating Hellions, and there's also a starport making and a tech lab. So this is more than likely going to be just 1 Hellion into Banshees, which it's a good opening. This 1 Hellion, especially with that really late Zergling speed, you can see it's not even halfway done. This Hellion's going to be able to kill Zerglings all day. And okay, the Zerg does have this spine crawler up, so the Zerg should be perfectly safe from this Hellion, but the Hellion's going to give the Terran perfect map control, and now it's actually safe to leave this SCV here. Or leave the Hellion there too. The one thing you don't want to do with this Hellion is overcommit it and have it just die in the Zerg base without accomplishing much of anything. The Zerg player doesn't have very much scouting at all. Even though the Terran player has this 1 Marine right here, there's really nothing stopping the Zerg from trying to send an Overlord from down here up into the main, or I bet there's some way the Zerg player could get in there. But either way, the Terran player is doing a good job of defending his base. And see, this Hellion is keeping map control, and I like this SCV being here. I've never seen that before, but just one SCV to keep repairing it. But I have a feeling that Hellion is about to die. A slow and pain. Oh, never mind. Pretty good reaction speed there from the Terran player. GoOdy. I should start using their names. If any of you guys saw my last cast, I realized that I needed to move this replay timer. Sorry about that last time, but that was my first try. This is my second. Already getting better, hopefully. So we see cloaked. Oh, I forgot the production tab. That's not too much better. So already we see cloaked banshees. Not really already. This is pretty late in the game, but whatever. There's a command center coming down here for an extra expansion and a bunker. This is kind of a late. I don't really like him getting this bunker. I mean, he had those Hellions for map control, and he could see everything that was happening. He didn't really need to get a bunker. I mean, if he was afraid of a Baneling bust or something like that, he could have. His Hellions would have been more than good enough to micro against the Baneling bust. I just don't think he needed it, and especially with his Banshees, the bunker just seems excessive to me. And he should really, especially now that he's pressuring with these Banshees, he should really be down and taking his natural. But pretty good Banshee harass. Not going to get that clean, unfortunately, but it's close. It did lots of damage. And Zerg players have gotten really used to this. Oh, that is horrible Banshee control. Okay, it's getting better. It's getting better. But Zerg players seem to have gotten really used to having to put these Spore Crawlers down. It's not... It seems almost natural to just have these waiting for a situation like this. And I really like this. Fast upgrades, but not only one upgrade, double evolution chamber. It's really going to help the Zerg defend against any and everything. Or not defend, it's gonna help his Zerglings live longer. Their life is going to be defended. This right here is one of the big things I dislike about Banshee openings as Terran. Yeah, it will give you map control and it denies the Zerg's third base, which could also be taken here at the gold, but it really delayed this command center. If you go for a command center first, you can have it up before 4 minutes into the game. And this is 11 minutes, and he's just now getting his command center. But if we take a look back at the production tab, we see, in his main base, we see 2 armories and another factory. So it looks like this is definitely going to be mech, a third factory. So 100% going to be mech coming from this Terran player, and a missile turret. That's kind of an interesting place for a missile turret. This is pretty standard timing for a Spire to come out. The Zerg player is a little slow on his Spire. He's making one, but it's pretty late. I like that Spire positioning right there. That's a good place to kind of hide it. You wouldn't really think to look in the mineral line for a Spire. But really, I don't agree with a two-base Spire. 3-base Spire is... I love it, but 2-base Spire is kind of... I don't know, you just don't have enough gas to get out enough Mutalisks. And see, here he's taking this 3rd base, and he has 3 queens. Yeah, he has 3 queens, but he has no creep tumors. He could easily have creep out to here on the map. So, I mean, he saw he was facing Hellions, but he was only facing 1 Hellion. So, that Hellion wasn't really going to stop creep spread. And he sees Banshees, but if you have creep going, then your queens can face the Banshees easier. And he had a really fast layer, so there was really nothing stopping him from getting creep. And see, now, because of where this hatchery is with no creep spread, he may very well lose it. Yeah, he's actually definitely going to lose it to these 3 Banshees, because there's no way the queens can get there in time. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen this. 2-base Corruptor with lots of upgrades. So it's definitely going to be some sort of 2-base Broodlord bust, I think. That's what it's looking like to me. 2-base Broodlord bust. But against mech, that's not going to... Or more importantly, it's a Broodlord Zergling bust, which isn't really going to work against Mech. The Terran player doesn't have his Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade yet, though, so it could do some damage. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. He's getting 3 Thors out, and Thors really are not the unit you are going to want in this situation. Thors do almost no damage to Broodlords at all, and Zerglings counter Thors extremely efficiently. So, Vikings, though. Vikings are definitely what the Terran player is going to want in this situation. But see, here the Zerg he's trying to take his 3rd base again. I don't know. I really feel like this push coming from the Zerg player is completely all in. If this doesn't work, he's completely sunk. But I like this play from the Terran player. Really turtling up, getting lots of starports. He knows that Mech is weak to Broodlords, so if he can just get out enough Vikings to even deal with Mulisks and Corruptors and Infestors potentially, then he'll be safe. And look, he's taking this really fast 3rd base. Well, not really fast, but for Mech, it's relatively fast. Especially, he took his natural at 10 minutes into the game. So, this is a well-timed out 3rd base. I think he's going to be perfectly safe against this Zerg bust. But we'll see. He doesn't really have very many Vikings. He has 4 Vikings out right now. But he's spread relatively well. Does he have Infernal Pre-Igniter? He doesn't have the Infernal Pre-Igniter yet. So that could be a problem, seeing as how there's so many Zerglings. But with this well-positioned siege tank and with all of his Vikings, I think he will be fine. But I really wish he had gone in and attacked these Broodlords earlier. And see, now he's still even delaying it. There's absolutely no anti-air from the Zerg. Now there are 2 Corruptors. But these Corruptors can't really take on these Vikings. And yeah, see, these Vikings are just they're gonna tear apart the Broodlords. But there may be enough Zerglings here just to take out everything, because he doesn't have the Infernal Pre-Igniter and he lost all of the siege tanks. But no, the Thors are definitely going to hold, and the Banshees with the Thors and the Vikings landing on the ground even are going to actually clean that up really easily. And now the Zerg he's really in a tough spot. He's got 3 bases, or 4 bases actually even, but absolutely no mining here at his gold. Almost absolutely no mining at his 3rd. If we look at the income tab, the Terran is ahead in SCVs and way ahead in income. This is not a good situation for the Zerg. I really like this from the Terran player. He just stopped an all-in, and now he still has Red Flame Hellions. He's still not getting Blue Flame. That seems really delayed, but that's a good position. I like this play from this Terran player. And he's going for drone harassment. And now, after he's destroyed a lot of Zerglings, he's just going to go for one all-out, big, powerful push with 2 Siege Tanks, 13 Vikings, 3 Thors, and 2 Banshees. And really, I think the important numbers here are the Vikings, 13 of them, and 2 Banshees. If we look at the Zerg's anti-air, he has 3 Corruptors. So, those Banshees really can just kill everything, actually. Especially once the Vikings hit the Corruptors. Yeah, and the Zerg player is forced to lose the game. So this was a pretty straightforward TvZ. I think it really shows the strength of turtling with mech and just getting out your strong 3 bases. But yeah, as the Zerg, the Zerg really needed to spread his creep more so that he could take this 3rd base and protect it, because this base just was, there was no way he could take it, because the Banshees just kept killing it every time he tried to make it. So if he had had more creep spread, he could have defended this base and taken it sooner. And especially against mech, as a Zerg, you need to be 2 or 3 bases ahead, almost always. So he could have taken this base, or this, not that base. He could have taken this base. You don't want to take this base against a Terran, because they can just siege tanks here and hit, or siege tanks there and hit your gas geysers. But he really could have taken this expansion and this expansion. I really think he should have taken both of those expansions, and he would have been in a good position. But anyway, that's it for this TvZ. I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to the next one. Thanks.